That helps.
So cold. Ah, I did not mean to do that.
Good evening, supervisors, staff, and guests. We take in roll call. Please press your button to be present. Joan, would you please? And Mike, thank you. And Buzz? Okay,
Oh, he's just connected.
okay. Well, we know you're there.
No, I can't go
You
forward.
can't, all right, we can't do anything up here, sorry. Huh. Ty isn't here? Is he coming? Is he coming?
No, he should still be able to sign in.
Now you're in.
All right.
You're present now. Yeah, all right, so we have 19 present and 2 absent, all right? I need, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. I need a motion for approval of the agenda. I have a motion by Supervisor Diedrich and a second by Supervisor Miller. Were there any questions regarding the agenda? If not, please vote your ballot. Okay, we, Buzz. Let's get with it, Buzz.
I'm with it.
I can't change it.
Okay, we have 18 yes, 1 no, and 2 absent, so we do have a majority. And that agenda has been approved. You have the minutes, approval of the December 17th and January 7th, 2025 meetings. We'll both take them into one motion, please. Motion by Supervisor Diedrich and a second by Supervisor Latour. Were there any questions on any of those minutes? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. any trouble.
Can't use it.
Okay. 18 yes, 1 no, 2 absent. The minutes have been adopted. Okay, we all set? All right, moving on, are there any petitions,
I have no petitions.
communications?
I have no communications.
Public participation, anybody signed in? No. All right, moving on to special business, we'll have Chad Scheinoha, our new highway commissioner, will introduce himself into the board. Chad, would you come up in front, please?
Good evening. My name's Chad Scheinoha. Thank you for having me here tonight. Just a few things. I've got a few things I'd like to say about myself, just to help you guys put a name to the face. You know, most of you I haven't met. I think the Highway Committee, of course, I know well. I've been seeing them over the last 5 years, but I don't recognize a lot of the other faces here tonight. So thanks again for having me. And just a few brief words about myself. I came to the county about 5 years ago, bringing with me about 20 years of experience, some of that in the private sector, road building and construction, leadership, and some of that from the public sector as well in road maintenance and leadership. Here at the Highway Department, I've served my last 5 years as Highway Superintendent under direction of Brian Glazer as Commissioner there at the Highway Department. And I can say Brian's been a super guy to work for, excellent mentor, role model, great commissioner. Probably part of the reason that I'm up here, you know, introducing myself to all of you here today. So a thanks to Brian as well for running our department the last 10 or 11 years. Probably wouldn't be fair also if I didn't say a little bit about my staff over there at the Highway Department. Super staff that I have there. I've learned a lot from them. Hopefully they've learned a little from me as well with all the experience I brought in here. But thanks to them as well, and everywhere from our office, our shop, and our maintenance staff out there at the Highway Department. Just a super group. I'm proud to be part of that group there and work with all of them. Just last but not least, I guess, you know, real brief. I'm honored to have the privilege here to work as a highway commissioner. So I'm very honored. I'm grateful to have that opportunity to serve all of you here, serve the residents of Calumet County in that role. And I hope to do it skillfully, humbly, and give you 110% all the time that I'm in that position there. So really, that's about all I have. I'll probably stick around for the meeting. And, you know, if you ever have any questions about highway or for me, you know, my door's always open, the phone's always on, and feel free to stop in and, you know, or give me a call and ask any questions you might have. Other than that, thank you, and I look forward to serving.
Thank you, Chad, and welcome. All right, our next item will be reviewing the strategic plan accomplishment. A lot of you had that in your packet. I hope you took the time to look at it and read it. Todd will just briefly skim through it as he's getting over a cold, so he may not get through it all without some water. So, Todd, where do you want to start, or do you want to have the questions first?
Well, it's a long document, as you can see, so I don't want to monopolize the meeting and cover every item within it. We talked about it in a little bit of detail at the Administrative Services Committee, so I'm fine if people have questions or comments about it, just doing it that way rather than me going through the entire document. I know we've done it this way in the past, that if you've had the opportunity to review, or if you want me to hit a specific highlight, if I'm able. Sometimes the department heads are much more knowledgeable about the details, but if you have questions on anything, I could certainly take that at this time. Just so you remember, this was the original strategic plan, so it's in the same format. It follows what we did together, county board and department heads. And it lines up with those strategic initiatives, and this is what you get from me annually regarding the accomplishments. And some of them, because of the timing, it's difficult when we have a new board coming in April. We want you to get acclimated, kind of understand what your role is before we start strategic planning. So it happens a little bit later when we start with a new board. So some of the items are still in progress. So hopefully you can see that. Not all of them have been achieved, but they did provide updates on every item within.
Okay, are there any questions of Todd? Just push your request to speak button. Anything at all?
We don't get the discussion?
I have this special business.
All right, Supervisor Diedrich.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Not really a question. I obviously appreciate everything that you've done with keeping this thing on track, Administrator. But I have a quick question. The last several years, how have you seen your staff operating with the strategic plan? In other words, how closely do they look at the plan? If there's something they want to do that doesn't jive with the plan, how do they resolve that discrepancy? Just your opinion. Thank you.
Well, I think it's because they're participatory, so they're a part of it with you as a board. I think that's been critical, so they own it along with you. I don't think that we've had disagreements or concerns regarding what's included in the plan, so it usually comes initially from them. Department heads provide me with things that may be occurring, things that may be happening, trends that'll affect the plan. So it really based on the conversations that you have, and we try to match you up with interest as well with the department heads. So we try to get you a little bit on your home committee with the department head you're familiar with, so it's programs you're familiar with, but they really do own it. They do the work of the plan, they provide the accomplishments from the plan, so it's really more of theirs and mine just monitoring than anything else.
It's your work plan. It's more your work plan to accomplish these.
Yeah, to make sure that we're
We're
moving
doing-
along. It's just I think a testament to how well we work together, department heads work together, you county board supervisors, because this starts also at the committee level. So you're given an opportunity to weigh in hopefully early on with the trends. So it really becomes something that everybody's familiar with and supports.
Okay, any other questions? If not, all right, we'll move on then to resolutions. Resolution 2024-32. I have a motion by Supervisor Schwallenberg and a second by Supervisor Steer. You want to read that?
Resolution 2024-32, resolution reauthorizing self-insurance under the Wisconsin Workers' Compensation Act, introduced by the Administrative Services Committee.
All right, and Supervisor Diedrich, would you speak to that resolution, please?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. We have been self-insured for a number of years for workers' comp here at Calumet County, and this resolution just extends that another year. When we had reviewed this at Administrative Services, we were asked, the question was asked about financially, how has this impacted the county? And with one exception somewhere several years back, we've been better off self-insured than having an insurance company cover workers' comp. So that question was asked at the meeting, and if we want to go into it more, I'm sure we can. But basically, this just means for workers' comp, we're self-insuring, and we're going to continue that practice going forward. It was moved forward unanimously by the Admin Services Committee.
Thank you, Supervisor Diedrich. Are there any questions regarding this resolution? Seeing none, would you please vote your ballot? We have 20 yes, 0 no, and 1 absent. We're moving along, so that resolution has been adopted. Moving on to Resolution 2024-33.
Resolution authorizing the Administrative Services Committee to settle accounts not exceeding $10,000, introduced by the Administrative Services Committee.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Elliott and a second by Supervisor Miller. And Supervisor Diedrich, would you speak to this resolution?
Yes, Madam Chair. This, again, is a resolution we have before us almost every year. The entire time I've been with the County Board of Supervisors, the Admin Committee has been authorized to settle issues below a certain amount. That current amount is $10,000. It just speeds things along and provides the opportunity for us to take things to this full board if it's under $10,000. And quite frankly, my entire time with admin services, I think we've only really taken action on one item that didn't come before the board. So it's just a fail-safe. It tries things moving along, and it's been working fine so far. So hope you support it. Thank you.
Any questions regarding this resolution? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. All right, we have 20 yes, 0 no, 1 absent, so that resolution has been adopted. Moving on to Resolution 2024-34.
Resolution to endorse bid from Wisconsin Bell LLC, doing business as AT&T Wisconsin for BEAD grant funding, introduced by the Administrative Services Committee.
I have a motion by Supervisor Steer and a second by Supervisor Latour. And Supervisor Diedrich, would you speak to this resolution?
Yes, Madam Chair. This is similar to the resolution we had last month, or 2 months ago, where we had 2 companies or 3 companies apply for this. This is simply that a company coming wants to get grant money from the state, and one of the boxes they have to check is community involvement, including the county. So if we pass this, that gives these guys a couple points toward their bid package. So hopefully you'll pass this. Thank you.
Any questions regarding this resolution? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. We have 20 yes, 0 nay, 1 absent, so that resolution has been adopted. The next 3 resolutions all pertain to the Town of Chilton zoning ordinance, so we will take them separately to approve, but we'll do it all in one motion, okay? So we have Resolution 2024-35, 2024-36, and 2024-37.
Resolution approving amendments to Town of Chilton zoning ordinance on certain property in the Town of Chilton, property of Judith Kaler.
Yeah.
Resolution approving amendments to Town of Chilton zoning ordinance on certain property in the Town of Chilton, property of MERLIN LISOWE. And resolution approving amendments to Town of Chilton zoning ordinance on certain property in the Town of Chilton, property of David and Sharon Neuber Trust.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Miller and a second by Supervisor Elliott. And Supervisor Huffberger, would you speak to these 3 resolutions?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. The 3 resolutions from the Town of Chilton are being brought forward because they have rezoned a portion of their properties similar to what we would be doing on ours. The Town of Chilton has its own zoning properties, but state statute says when they make a change on their zoning, it has to be blessed by this county board. That's why I'm bringing it to you. It's sort of a housekeeping mission, I guess I will say. We looked at each one of those, as did our staff. They're all good. They're all okay. That's why I've asked, and Madam Chair has said, let's put them all together in one big resolution. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any questions on any one of these resolutions? If not, please vote your ballot. We have 20 yes, 0 nay, 1 absent, so those 3 resolutions have been adopted. All right, moving on to Supervisor reports. Any supervisors who have attended any meetings or seminars wish to speak, please push your button to report. It did work. Supervisor Steer?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I recently attended a courtroom security meeting. The discussion is continuing and ongoing. However, there should be postings of the prohibited items not allowed in various places in the county building here. Number two, on January 23rd at 6:30, Alice, Mary, and I attended the honors night in the EOC room. It was well attended by the public. I mean, it was almost packed. So it's honor the current employees of the Sheriff's Department. Also, our fine sheriff swore in the new members of the department. New staff, along with also promotions. Sheriff did a superb job swearing them in. It was well done. However, there were no donuts, but other goodies were there. Number three, our dog Amir decided to take an early retirement. So now we are in the process of finding another. And as soon as the sheriff gives me info, we'll share it with you all. Thank you.
Supervisor Steer, did you report on the jail inspection?
Oh, sure, the jail inspection, that I haven't received any more how it went from the state jail inspector, but yeah, it was excellent that we all did the tour, no problems. Going to be doing some double bunking. Also, we were taken in back and saw the new boat and the new APC, which was much newer and much better than an old clunker model we had. It's much safer for the public, and it should meet our needs much better than the old one. It's more designed for our type of landscape rather than the old one. The old one was just a beast, but now we have a new one. I didn't get a ride yet, but I'm looking forward.
All right, thank you, Supervisor Steer. Supervisor Booty?
Thank you. I had attended the annual Wisconsin County Highway Association Winter Road School. While there, I attended technical sessions such as asphalt pavement preservation, professional development sessions such as media relations, and general educational sessions such as teamwork and dysfunctions of a team. The Wisconsin County Highway Association is working on its own strategic planning update for the next 10 years. In addition, there was much networking and meetings of various technical committees. I also had attended the Machinery Management Committee and the Bridge Committees to find out what's going on in those aspects. The Wisconsin County Highway Association Executive Committee had a meeting last week. We had a good conversation with staff from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation regarding routine maintenance agreement funding. This was an item I had discussed with our state legislators a few weeks ago also at Capitol Ambassador Day. We are trying to get increased routine maintenance agreement dollars out of the state of Wisconsin. As it currently stands, counties across the state are getting somewhere between 34% and 61% of the routine maintenance agreement money that they need to maintain the state highways. The DOT is trying to balance this out using funds from discretionary maintenance agreements and performance-based maintenance. It is the Wisconsin County Highway Association's position that it would be much better from a planning perspective for counties to receive a predictable routine maintenance award instead of supplemental funds to balance out the accounts. Today, I had attended with the East Central Wisconsin ECWRPC, East Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission, the Trail Summit. This took place in Appleton. There was much discussion, many breakout small groups looking at trails in the area. Over the past 5 years, 30 miles of trails have been built within the Fox cities. There was much talk about economic impact. One example given is that in 2023, the Ice Age Trail in the state of Wisconsin received roughly 4.6 million users. And there was an estimated economic impact from those users of $431 million across the state. If anyone has any particular questions about any of the meetings that I was at, or anything else related to highway or Fox Cities municipal planning, please feel free to talk to me afterwards. Thanks.
Thank you, Supervisor Booty. Supervisor Diedrich?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick, brief update. I am part of the REACH coalition, which is working for a drug-free community. And about 2 years ago, most of you at the board might remember, we were working on hemp derivative products in the county. Just a quick refresher, it's legal in Wisconsin to sell products that contain CBD and THC if they come from hemp. Hemp is a agricultural product, and the reason that is currently legal and not a problem is that in the field, the amount of THC is minuscule, less than 0.3%. Sounds fine, but when they take that product into a factory and process it into the various products, the percentage of THC obviously changes. And that in itself is not a big problem, but what we found is that these products are marketed to our youth. They look like gummy bears or peach slices, and they're very appealing. And again, that's not a problem, except there's nothing that prevents children from going in these outlets and buying the product. That was what we were focusing on. And I'm happy to report, the reason I brought it up, just 2 weeks ago, Harrison passed an ordinance prohibiting the sale of these products to individuals less than 21 years old. They kind of followed what Kaukauna did about 2 years ago. So we're hopeful that other communities within the county will follow suit and pass similar ordinances. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Supervisor Schwallenberg?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to, was that the trail connection, the High Cliff Connection trail meeting that you went to, Matt? Okay. There are two more meetings in case anybody's interested. There's one at Harrison on the 25th and in Menasha on March 11th. This is the trail that we've been working on for about 20 or 25 years, I think, that may finally go through, or they'll run into the same problem that we had, was that the landowners did not want a trail going through their land, but hopefully they've changed their opinions on that. The snowmobile trails are open, but they probably will be closed sometime this weekend because I understand, according to Adam, we're going to have 40-degree weather. And they have been very well used. We haven't had too many years lately where they've been able to use their snowmobiles. Construction is continues at Ledgeview, which may take us a little bit longer than we expected to be able to get into there. ATVs are now allowed on Double E, but we don't allow ATVs in the park, except we allow them down to the harbor while they're fishing, sturgeon fishing. So we may have to post some signs that road doesn't continue into the park. So we'll talk about that at one of our meetings, I suppose. The meeting that I went to with Alice and Pete at the sheriff's office, I sat alongside of a young officer, and his little son was trying to give me his challenge coin. They were they were very impressive. The sheriff gave all the new officers a challenge coin. I never heard of what that was done before. They were really very nice. So, thank you very much. That's it.
Thank you, Supervisor Schwallenberg. I just have a couple things. I wanted to congratulate the workers that were listed in the administrator's letter. It's great to have workers that have put so many years into our county, and new and young, vibrant ones coming up. There's a group that will be going to the legislative conference in Madison at the next week, and I think it's always an interesting conference because we have some breakouts, and we get to meet one-on-one with some of our legislators, which we did when we went to the ambassador program. And so I just wanted to mention that. And I was present with the sheriff a couple weeks ago where the Ascension Hospital donated their used ambulance, or their ambulance that they are no longer using for patients, to our department. And we're going to be using it for an evidence truck. It'll be very useful for us. We'll be able to take it right on scenes and do all of the work through with the computers and everything right there on site. So it'll be a little more efficient working. And our sheriff was there along with 2 other officers and myself, and it was very nice to receive that. It's in very good shape. It's very colorful, so I don't know if they've decided they're going to have to redo the coloring of it, but it's a little bright. But it was a great donation for us to accept. So thank you for that. Oh, Supervisor Diedrich.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is not to formulate a discussion, just want to give a heads up for meetings since 2 supervisors talked about trails. Supervisors should all be aware that trails are a good thing. They have an economic impact, and I know people just love these things, and they're going to proliferate. But the county bears a significant burden on the development of these trails. For example, if you want to cross Highway 10, 114, the state has nothing to do with that. It becomes a county financial obligation. So just looking forward, when you go forward, it'll become up a discussion for us, our point, but it's not as fun and easy as we might think. Thank you.
Okay. Moving on with the agenda, you have the county administrator's report. Were there any questions regarding that? Did you have a question, Supervisor Steer? No?
I have a question, but I would like to suspend the rules in relation to the county board hours. I would like us to look at that again and have it at the next scheduled meeting.
Well, our next scheduled meeting is in March. Is that what you want to do now? Did you want to?
I don't know if we'll have it in March, if we're having a meeting, or in April, whichever.
We're having a meeting in March, so what did you want to do?
Yes.
Supervisor Stockman?
Wait.
Just wait. I need a second. I'm waiting.
Just 1 minute.
So the motion is the next meeting. You're suspending the rules, and you're asking for what for the next meeting?
I would like to discuss our county board hours that we currently have, because I struggle with them, and I would like to see us changing back to the old.
For the time of the meeting? Is that what you're speaking of?
I think it's fine.
Okay, so your motion is to suspend the rules, and at the next meeting, have the meeting at a different time?
No, at the 6 o'clock meeting. Yeah. To discuss the change at 6 o'clock.
Okay, so at the next meeting, you're not asking that it be set at a different time.
He wants it on the agenda.
No, he doesn't want it on the agenda. Rule, please. I think it's the intent of Mr. Steer to suspend the rules, which is a 2/3 vote, for us to change the meeting times back to where they were previously.
Correct.
From April, is it April to September? September to April, which would be 7 o'clock in the evening. And from September through the spring, the meetings would be at 7 o'clock in the evening.
No.
Right. So the only thing on the agenda is your next meeting.
Yes.
So the only thing in order to suspend the rules would be to ask to suspend the rules for the next held meeting.
To be at what
Because
time?
to be at whatever time he's proposing. Because I.
8:30.
Okay.
What time are you proposing the next meeting to be at, Pete?
The next meeting would be scheduled at 6 p.m.
No,
What
we're
are you
at,
asking
it would
for?
be at 6 PM. Are you, the rules, what you're trying to do is set a different time for that meeting by
Oh,
suspension,
5 p.m.
which would normally be 9 o'clock in the morning.
Well, 9 o'clock in the morning would work better.
So are you making a motion to suspend the rules and have the meeting at 9 a.m. for the next meeting?
Yes,
Okay.
if that's okay.
And that needs a second, and then we need a 2/3 vote. And that would only be for the next meeting, and then if that wanted to be discussed for future meetings, then it needs to be put on the agenda. Oh, okay. All right.
A motion by Supervisor Steer and a second by Supervisor Weaver.
So discussion.
Is there any discussion regarding the 2/3 vote to change time, please? Supervisor Laughlin.
Thank you. I'm okay with suspending the rules, but I would rather have it go to 4 o'clock PM instead of 9 in the morning. Because 9 does not work for me. That's why we did this in the first place, I think.
All right. Are you amending the motion to change it to 4?
Yes.
Okay.
I amend the motion to change it to 4 o'clock instead of
I think you
9.
have to make a motion now on your, can you make a motion on your?
Done? Nope,
No.
wrong one.
Excuse me, I don't believe there's supposed to be a discussion on this motion. It's just a 2/3 vote on what I said. It's right in the.
Still have to discuss it.
Right.
And then make a separate motion.
Right.
The whole thing.
You're right.
Right.
That's what I thought.
So, to be clear, because we don't want to violate the open meetings, the only thing that can be addressed is the next meeting. And in order to do that, you have to suspend the rules and make the motion to change it to 9 a.m.
All right.
They've done this before. So, and I think many of you here have done this before. So if other things come up as conflicts, you've suspended the rules for the next meeting. So this isn't that out of the ordinary. Just seems a little strange, that it's not something we put on the agenda, but since you have the meeting date and time on there, you're allowed to do it just for the next meeting that's held. Yep.
Any discussion?
Did you have a second to the amendment?
Yes,
Oh,
we had.
is there an amendment?
Buzz, but he couldn't push his button.
So
The
we have
amendment
them,
motion
we have
would be
them,
4 o'clock.
we have a motion by Buzz. Is there a second to his motion?
Just gotta try to figure it out on there, Alex.
Is it-
Yeah, you just, that's just.
And this is just a majority, right?
Two-thirds.
This one?
To amend the motion.
To amend the motion. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Who's the motion? We have it by Buzz, and who's the second on that?
Can you make the motion now, please?
Can you try to do it on your pad there, Buzz?
All right, hold on.
Nope.
I'll try.
No, it does.
How do I get back out of here now?
I don't know. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Your motion.
How's that?
You have a second?
No, I'm waiting for a second. There is no second as of now.
Is anyone making a
Yep, we have a second.
second? Okay.
Who seconded? Supervisor Machewski, second the motion. Okay.
Now it's your turn, Pete. You're up second.
Now what?
Now you have, Ty has the floor.
All right, Supervisor Stuckman.
So I guess more of a question. So I am on the Rules Committee, and we brought this up to put on the agenda for next month. Are we is it kind of a moot point because we're going to discuss this at the meeting, or we still have to vote on it?
Your Rules Committee has it for a possible change to
Right.
the rules permanently. This is only to suspend the rules for the next held county board meeting.
Okay.
So it's still relevant for your committee.
Supervisor Steer?
Yeah, they have a motion that suspend the rules requires a second, yes. Candidate, no. Candidate amended,
Yeah, it can't be.
but it requires two-thirds of the vote.
That's just the suspending of the rules.
That's the
But then he has the motion.
voted to suspend them.
You can't debate it.
You can't debate the suspension of the rules, but then he made the motion to change the time. That can be discussed.
Okay. To change the time can be discussed, I understand, so,
But not the suspension of the rules.
but not the suspension of the rule.
Suspension of the rules requires 3/4 vote.
Two-thirds.
I'm sorry,
Two-thirds
2/3 vote.
This vote would be a majority, correct?
On the amendment.
On the amendment. All right, Supervisor Huffberger.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am just wondering if we're confused the issue here. I would like to ask, is this question is to put this, is this question to put this on the agenda so we can discuss this?
No.
And then it be a permanent change, or is this just a request for one meeting for next month? I don't I'm not sure what, tell me which one it is.
It's for one meeting, and it's for the next meeting that's held,
Yes.
okay? So only the next meeting is being addressed. The Rules Committee is going to address it in its committee, and then it'll bring it forward to the full board, if there is a change.
If I could, I'd ask the Supervisor Steer if that's what he meant. Is that what you meant? Just for one meeting?
You're out of order if you do that.
Okay.
You can address the chair.
I give up.
You can address
I'm sorry.
the chair.
I'm
No,
sorry.
you cannot do that.
I have a way.
All right, Supervisor Machewski?
Oh, we gotta push that. Haven't done this before. I would just like to add, for those of us that work during the day, 1 month's notice is a little bit hard if it goes during the day. I think for me personally, 4 p.m. and after, I can make work, but I know this isn't for long-term changes, but even for one change might mean that I'm not able to attend meetings if it's changed within 30 days.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? All right, we're going to vote on the amendment, which is to change the time of the March meeting. It's the next held meeting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The next held meeting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Please vote your ballot. So we have 10 yes, 10 no, so the motion has failed. So then we go back to the main motion, which is to change the time of the next regular meeting at 9 o'clock in the morning, correct? I have a motion by Supervisor Steer and Supervisor Diedrich is the second. Is there any discussion or on that? All kinds. Okay. Who's talking for Supervisor Macheski? We're done. Anyone please speak for it, request to speak button, so we know who's talking. All right, thank you. All right, no one has discussed that, all right? Are you ready for the vote then? We will change the next regular meeting at 9 a.m. in the morning. That's the motion. Please vote your ballot. We have 7 yes, 13 no, and 1 absent, so that motion has failed. So we'll go back to our regular time at March at 6 o'clock in the evening. We will now go in, I need a motion to go into closed session for the evaluation of our administrator. I have a motion by Supervisor Diedrich and a second by Supervisor Booty. What we do is, everybody has to leave that is not involved on the county board. And then we'll do a roll call.
My thing failed?